What's going on, guys? So today on this Shoky third-party Transformers review, we're taking a look at something that I've been chasing for a while now, and it is, of course, the Planet X Vulcan, and that is their version of the fall of Cybertron Grimlock, and that thing is so friggin' awesome. Now, you guys all, well, most of you guys probably saw when I got the mail call and actually did the unboxing for it. Unboxing. But let's go ahead and do an official type deal. So, of course, we have Planet X Vulcan right there in letters. Nice. And, of course, here we have Grimlock's chest from the game, as you usually do with Planet X figures. Now, if you come around to this side, you get a shot of one of his arms. Yay. Come around to the back, and you get, well, nice little image of him right there, just like all everybody else does. So you've got all of this going on back here. You've got what appears to be just a little dude running around. What is that? There's not humans on Cybertron. What the heck? What is this tiny human? What did you guys take this image from? Wow. All right. So just real quick, I wanted to mention this because Planet X uses either planetary names or like Greek pantheon type names, because we got Vulcan, Kalis, Hephaestus, you get Apocalypse, Jupiter, all those. They're either, is it Greek or Roman? Either way, possibly Roman. But I like this because you got Vulcan here, who is here, but you also get Hephaestus, which is the Fireblast version of this. So same thing, different name. It's just pretty cool how they do that. All right, so we'll go over here. We have another arm. We got Aegis 15 plus. Hey, I'm right in the middle of that. Aegis 15 plus. Please check instructions before using choking hazard. Yes, there's no small parts in this because he is Grimlock. All right, let's go ahead and open the box right quick. Very simple thing here. And I do want to mention, guys, I did buy this second-hand from a great dude named Eddie Santos. And he, I think it might have been on Planet Cybertron, I can't remember, or one of those Facebook groups. Because I'm in several Transformers groups at this point. I can't remember which one it is. Not Planet Cybertron, what is it called? Cybertron Cafe. Okay, so we've got the clear plastic clamshell effect going on here. This is where he would obviously be. We've seen this already, but let's go ahead. I want to look at the inside here because this looks pretty cool. Pull the whole thing out, and normally your instructions and everything would be in here, but you got a nice little shot here. So this is actually his chest, minus a few details. That's pretty cool. So you got the arms kind of around here, and everything else. I like the fact that they take the time to at least put something on the inside. It's not totally empty, boring box. That's actually pretty cool. So I'm going to set that back for a second. And of course we have the pouch of misery. And we're going to call it that for the fact of this is where the instructions come from. Come here. Nope. No. There we go. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and pull these out. We get the character card, just the same art that was on the box. Planet X Vulcan. Nice little shot there, a little bit blurry, but it's there. And there's that little guy again. Who the heck is the little guy? And if we come to the back, we got the strength, intelligence, speed. I think strength should be off the charts there. Endurance should also be off the charts. Rank should be a lot higher than that because he was actually equal to Prime. Courage, way up high. Fire Blast should be way up high. Skill, it's big skill on this one. Still has only strength, but yeah. Guys, Planet X, I know this was an older one. Can you please fix that? I mean, you guys have you have at least one or two blatant typos on every single character card. Yeah, how has nobody told you yet? And the other thing Planet X absolutely needs to fix, these god-awful instructions. Guys, I shit you not, as it were. I have to use the actual words for this. I tried following the instructions. Could not transform it. Couldn't. I got to a point where, like, okay, I don't understand what's supposed to happen next. And, so I gave up, put the instructions away, and just intuited the rest. And guess what? I got it done. Because this guy, while, he seems a little bit complicated, I guess having transformed either later generations, I forget which ones actually came first, but having transformed most of the other Dinobots, he has a lot of very similar engineering. And it just... seriously, guys. It made no sense. Because that tells you right there, says do this and then pull down. Pull down specifically on that section. But that's not really what you do. You terrible, terrible instructions. Okay, Planet X. Let's talk for a second. Come here, guys. Just come here. Just come here. Okay, so here's what you guys need to do from now on. Instead of giving this, and I know it's not going to be for everybody, make a video and post it to your social network every time you create a new one of these. Include a link with these instructions. Like just you can send this useless piece of paper with if you want, but put down here, see how to properly transform at Planet, whatever the website, and give us a video of how to transform it properly, because realistically this does not get you there. It really and truly doesn't. Transforming the feet, they're like, hey, just shove this through there. Well, how the heck am I supposed to do that? Because all you include is that needs to go there. Guys, just come on. You guys are, you have a niche market with just these figures from this line, and you cannot keep putting out these terrible instructions, guys. Come on. These are expensive toys, and you guys don't put in the effort to make instructions that are even, you can't follow them. And this is actually a fairly simple transformer in comparison, because Grimlock usually is. But yeah, just do us all a favor and do that, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and throw all this junk back in the box. And I've touched on it. Bobby's Skullface really went off on it in his last Planet X review. Just better instructions, make them look better, make them more detailed, and actually, if you have to, put some writing in there that tells you what to do. Let's go ahead and get to the actual figure, shall we? And here we have Planet X, Vulcun, Fall of Cybertron, Grimlock, out of the packaging and looking absolutely ridiculous. God, this guy is so awesome. With the exception of Apocalypse, this is the biggest Planet X figure I've got. And he's just so beautiful, so awesome. And he does come in robot mode out of the box, so you do have to get him to his Dino mode, which actually is fine, because that's what happened in the game. He was in robot mode, and then whenever his rage level reached maximum, he transformed into his T-Rex mode. So that totally works. This is one of those times where I wish I had a turntable, so you can just be like... Okay, we'll do a quick walk around so you guys can see this. So we got some nice translucent bits here. We have all the nice little Energon spots. Everything that's pink is Energon glowiness. Of course, you have a nice big fat backpack for him, but that's not terrible because, well, Grimlock always wears his head on his back. Just true. Oh, man. But it looks so good. Of course, more translucent part there. Now, I don't have... I'm kind of running into the master grade issue here. Not quite enough height to see everything. He's got these giant chunky feet, these big old knees. Just he's so good. I really do like it. Now he does come with accessories, as all these Dinobots do. He comes with the single biggest one. His giant, ridiculous shield. Now we'll say there's a little bit of dust going on here. I had a Swiffer here somewhere, but I guess it is what it is. So this is one issue when buying secondhand, guys. Some things might be dusty, but this is actually very cool. I like the fact that it essentially looks like Swoop's head. So it's like a dinosaur head, and then giant energy shield comes out of it. It's one of the really cool things. Now I love the fact that this isn't necessarily used for just shielding in the game, because he would literally just smash Decepticons to pieces, or Insecticons realistically to pieces with the shield. Just bash them out of the way. Honestly, some of the most fun parts of Fall of Cybertron were the Grimlock parts. He does just have the same pegs everybody else does for the hands. In fact, his hands will open, although you don't need them to. You also get his giant sword. Look at this thing. Oh, it's so pretty. I love the fact that maybe it's just the effect of how the plastic gets thinner, but the blade edge actually dims the closer it gets to the edge. Makes it look more fire-like. The molded detail is so cool. Looks like a turbine. It's got some wrapping going on there. Nice panel lines. Nice big jewel situation going on there. And you can see where every part is supposed to come out, slide out, and extend and transform from nothing. And then the Energon parts come out. That is really cool. So, yeah, basically he'd be running around with these giant weapons, hacking and slashing his way through things, including doorways and other stuff. Look at that. Oh, man. Guys, I've wanted this figure for so long, and I got him at a good price. You know, even though he was selling it secondhand, he sold it for a good price. Packaging, everything came with it. It's all actually pretty much in perfect condition. A few stress marks here and there on tabs, but hey, I can't fault him for that. Some of those things are issues of the transformation, and we will get to that eventually because we got to get to some comparisons first. So let's stick him off to the side here. And here he is with the other commander. And yeah, he's bigger than Prime. Because he should be. Now, whether that's exactly to scale, we'll never really know. Because these two in-game never actually got to meet up. So, they were on different sides of Cybertron at the time of the game. I do remember him getting a hold of Prime, and he went, Grimlock, what happened to you? You know, basically that kind of situation. Because they weren't always dinosaurs. I believe it was Shockwave turned them into dinosaurs and made them what they are. So played around. They played kind of fast and loose also with some of that Prime storyline. We're visiting Earth and digging up old bones and that kind of stuff. And they had captured the entire, I think, what is it, Lightning Coalition? Whatever his Special Forces unit is called. But yeah, so you can see here, he is a good inch or two, maybe about an inch and a half taller than Prime. And that's awesome. And you guys know, I absolutely love my Prime figure. Grimlock probably takes the cake a little bit, but, you know, it is pretty good. It would be fun to see them, you know, go toe-to-toe, especially being, or even back-to-back. Back-to-back would be awesome. I gotta get a picture of that. That's just too cool. Did y'all see that? Nope? Okay. So let's pull Prime out of here. But just for giggles, here he is, next to original Fall of Cybertron Prime. And obviously that's definitely not to scale, because that's ridiculous. But, you know, itty bitty Prime is itty bitty. And here we have him next to Starscream. And you can see he's significantly bigger than Starscream. But if I remember correctly, he actually had encountered him slightly in the game. I could be wrong, but I think Starscream did have something to do with their develop. I don't remember, because he had a lot to do with like the semi-last mission, stuff like that. It's been a while since I played the game, guys. Sue me. And also, I'm not entirely certain I transformed Starscream properly. It's been a while. He's been in jet mode for quite some time. And before you guys ask, yeah, I'm going to be picking up the rest of the Seekers. At least Thundercracker and Skywarp, not the other guys. That the new paint jobs. So let's go ahead and get him out of here. And for final comparison, here he is next to all of his Dinobot cohorts, or his Lightning Coalition. I forget. Somebody help me out. I keep forgetting what the actual thing is. I didn't bother putting them with all their weapons because it would look like a big cluster of black and orange stuff. Oh, and how can we forget? We gotta get Wally in there. Wally, these are your new friends. You've met most of them, I believe, but they'll protect you probably, or eat you. We'll see what happens. All right, this is just so awesome. I need the last one. I need the last one. Oh, jeez. Alright, so let's get some closer looks at this guy. Check out the head sculpt. Very G1-esque. Actually looks pretty good. And you do get the nice light piping through the eyes. Though I wonder if there's people out there who wouldn't mind having the blue visored version, even though, you know, in the game it was all red. We do get all the nice, like, mechanical molding detail there. Same thing with the chest. You got the 3 little orbs going on there and all the lines and hoses and stuff running through his chest. You guys will notice they do have the Autobot logos on here. Eddie went ahead and sent me a couple of the repro labels, Energon Glow stickers. So he only sent the Autobot logos, and that's fine. I'm going to end up buying the full set for this guy anyways, because it's a very, very comprehensive set. But you can actually get some more translucent bits down through here and down here and right in the chest there. And you come down the legs and stuff, and you see all this amazing molded detail there, all with the nice Energon pink. That looks good. And just like all the other Dinobots, he's got this kind of crusty looking goldish color. See the back of the legs, all that lovely detail. Of course, like we saw earlier, you've got the dinosaur head hanging out there, and you got dinosaur chest as the back, including the little claws. Now, I didn't know exactly how these are supposed to be positioned. This is just the best way to keep them out of the way so the arms can still move. So that's pretty good. I do really dig this guy. Now, there's one complaint, and I'll show this off, other than the fact that some things don't quite fit. In robot mode, like we're in now, all of these bits are facing outward like they do. In Dino mode, you're going to get all the screw holes. Now, I assume that the repro labels stickers will cover all of those, or at least to the best of their ability, but man, I don't even know which way I would prefer it. I mean, maybe some plugs or covers or something we could throw on there? Anything? I don't know. Me no no. Be Grimlock. Me no no. And actually, this Grimlock was nowhere near as stupid as G1 Grimlock. He's actually fairly well intelligent, but just, you know, in story, to give him significantly more strength and power, they dumbed down his intelligence. He was actually very intelligent prior to that, because of course he's a squad leader. It's what he do. So they made him slightly stupider, but made him insanely powerful. So one of those weird trade-offs. Let's go ahead and look at articulation. You do get what I believe is just got to be a ball-mounted head. And you just blah, 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 blah. No forward or back articulation. You can look down, you can look up, you can rotate, possibly go all the way around. Yep. There's our light piping. Light piping. Yay for light piping. Gotta love that. Okay, so shoulders. We got rotation right inside there. I think it can go, yep, all the way around. Almost hit the camera. You got this nice hinge here that lets you come up this way, but then can also allow you to go straight out. This is also part of the transformation, because in robot mode, he comes way up like so. That looks pretty good, because you want these shoulder bits up really high. Now, if you want a little bit more articulation, you just let those out a little bit, and you can get some extra movement out of the way. He does the thing. We do have bicep rotation, though, of course, looks a little wonky. Is what it is. It's just there for transformation purposes and, of course, for maneuvering. He's got kind of a double jointed elbow, so you got the main joint here, which gets you not quite 90 degrees, maybe like 70, 80 degrees. Then you get this extra thing that takes you past 90. That's actually very good. Comes in handy in both modes, realistically. Go ahead and close that up without pinching the fingers. I will say, this is one of the only Dinobots so far that doesn't have incredibly pointy bits on him. It really doesn't, except for the teeth. T-Rex teeth are the only thing that are very pointy. We've got rotation at the wrist, like so, and the fingers open, even though you slide the weapons down in the hole, so it doesn't even matter. No kind of ab crunch, because he doesn't do that. Most of these Planet X figures do not come with an ab crunch. You get rotation at the waist. That's both due to transformation and because he's awesome. So you can get nice dynamic poses like so. Yeah. And you come down to the hips. And we've got swivels here. Almost universal joint. So hinge there. So you can get a very good, actually exceedingly good Jean-Claude. If you have the arms out of the way, he's past 90 degrees. That's gotta hurt. Like I say, you can go back incredibly far, you can go forward, and, you know, pretty much 90 degrees, 180 from the backside. You have thigh rotation. Of course, once again, it's a wonky cutout, but what are you gonna do? You have double jointed knees, sort of. So you've got the main knee right there, obviously. But that's not the knee that tends to move. It's the one down there. So this is what happens when you kind of move it at that knee. You could get one more degree out of it. And this is one of my complaints right here about backside of legs / tails. They don't really stay as they should. Very hefty ratchet joints. And these are mostly for transformation, but you can get some extra dynamic poses. Maybe, I don't know. Seems to be mostly for transformation, but it is still technically a double jointed knee. These little knee armors do move and they do hide. A little bit of a thruster right there. I do wish there was a way to take that out or move it out a little bit. From what I can tell, it doesn't. Although that does look like it might be on a double hinge. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm seeing two different sides. Because it looks like it's just pegged in there. Somehow. I don't believe this comes out in any way. It would be cool because in Dino mode those are extra thrusters. But they're hidden away so well. I don't know. Okay, so what I'm seeing is the other side of the knee there. Yeah, these are just attached. I wish they would move out just a little bit. Now we come down to the foot. There's little to no articulation except in the foot itself or in the toe itself. So you get a little bit of toe waggle. You can pivot to get some wider stance. You do get like a mid-foot support right here. So if you don't have that out, he's just standing on this part, and that's very flimsy as we've seen. But yeah, he actually stands pretty well. If you make sure that you have him tilted forward just enough that that backpack isn't wanting to drag him over, he does stand fairly well. I really do dig it. But before we get into transformation, guys, I completely blanked on another comparison. There's still a Dinobot we haven't looked at. And it's the G1 Grimlock. I forgot I still had this thing. My buddy has not come to take it back. And you can see, of course, there's a lot of similarities. You got the color separation. You got as many of the details, like the mechanical gray part of the chest is about the same. The arms, of course, well, you can't really compare this guy to anything like that. But the big, chunky feet, as it were. The way the hands and arms work, they always try to incorporate that. The only thing that this one generally misses on is you don't get the cool wings. They actually make them disappear on this guy, but that's still pretty cool. So let's get the old Grimmy out of here. Okay, let's get this guy transformed. Now this will be semi-complicated, but hopefully everybody can follow. So first and foremost, let's grab these bits here. You want to split them open. And there's a double hinge on each side. You need to get these tabs to come around right through there. It'll get hung up occasionally, just finagle it. And you got a tab on either side and a slot on the opposite. And that's how you get your foot transformed. Come to the other side, we'll do the same thing. Usually this one gives me a little more trouble for some reason. And there we have big old dino shovels. Flatten out the toes, make your life easy. Now, one other thing, actually I think I did it already technically. Take the shoulder bits and rotate them all the way up like so. That'll come into play later. We're just setting those up to succeed. Okay. Now, it usually wants you to do the legs next. Actually, I wanted you to do the legs first, but we're going to go ahead and do them now. So, come to the back. You've got the backs of the legs, which are obviously going to be the robot tail. I'm going to pull them out and up like so. They're on these big, long, very flimsy plastic. However, they need to be slightly flimsy because they're going to have to do some acrobatics here in a little bit. So come down here to the bottom. Now, I got a question for you guys. These pegs look like something, don't they? I mean, those are basically like 5mm pegs. From what I can see, I have no clue why there are 5mm pegs on the bottom of this guy's feet. Nothing combines or anything like that from what I can see, so no clue exactly what we're working with here. Alright, so we got a bunch of hinges. Let's just get that out of the way. Alright, so very similar to how Prime has to get his feet out of the way, you got to get his feet out of the way. So inside here, this part is on a compound hinge. You have to get all of this inside here, and honestly, it's not easy. This is actually the harder side. So you need to finagle it to where these round bits are coming up and through here. And I'm not going to lie, this part always aggravates me a lot, because too much plastic ends up moving out of the way to make it happen. It's like, you know, if you just done it just a little differently, you wouldn't have to fight it so much. Okay, so what we want to end up with on the front here is this part laying flat, or at least flat enough, like so. So you've got all the holes and all that facing outward. Now you want to make sure that the toe itself is pointed all the way flat and down, like so. Now we'll come over here and struggle with this side to do the same, although usually this one is the easier one because there's less tabs in the way. Because the way those legs are engineered, it's a little easier. There we go. And it snuggles down right there exactly as it should. Now here comes the next fun part. We have to get these over there. And we had a whole lot of robot in the way. So a lot of people would probably be tempted just to try to shove it right past there. However, there's a nice little trick that he does. He gets his body out of the way. Like so. Sorry, the arms are actually blocking all of this. So get the head up and out of the way. Rotate the torso. And yeah, you're going to have to flex it a little, but that's the only way to get it up and over. Like so. And you want to use that hinge, and eventually you'll come all the way around. Now to go the other way, well, it's actually more difficult, realistically, because that leg is just more difficult. Straighten that out, tilt that over. Okay, I said it's more difficult, and then I proved that it's actually easier when you do it the right way. So we want to do that, bring that all the way around. Now at this point, you can totally just peg these together. You got two big pegs, two big holes. Tab those together. Straighten all that out. We'll go ahead and try to get the dino tail done. So we want to unfold that. Come inside here. And the tail unfolds from itself. Like several of these Dinobots actually do this. So, you know, this is one of those things where it comes down to, oh, hey, I've done this before. Okay, now this one is going to be the bottom of the tail. See, it implies that these are sides of the tail, like the old school one, but no, this is actually the bottom and top of the tail. So using this lovely, ridiculous compound hinge on this side, actually, I'm sorry, it's on this side. So you want to see, it's like a double hinge right there. You want to rock that out like so, and then you just line up all these tabs. He's just standing on his face. Tabs, tabs, tabs. This particular tab right here is the one that has the most stress on it, right there. And that, you know, I told Eddie about it, and he's like, man, I'm sorry about that. I was like, it's okay, dude. I understand. He's like, yeah, the tail transformation is a bear. I'm like, yeah, I see that. It's like, I can tell it has to be because of the sheer amount of stress on that one particular tab. Okay, and you want to tab everybody together. I know that was off screen. Tab everything together. This final little tab is really what holds everybody together. So there we have the dino tail totally done, but we'll wait until the very end to make everybody combine and be happy. Okay, so we come back up to the front. You want the arms pointed pretty much straight out. Rotate at the bicep, which will be the thigh technically now. So now dino feet are like so, and he's about to do a push-up. So Grimlock staring at the ground. Now this is one of the parts that I always hate with these Dinobots, and it's having to move the entire chest. I love that they kept his engineering very similar to how G1 Grimlock actually changes. So all of this has to rock down. So you want to come up here and pull on the chest. Do not pull directly on the translucent parts. But you want to pull it out, and it will be hanging up on everything, guys. So there's really bad tolerance and clearance issues right here. These two translucent pieces rub against each other and make this very difficult. So you just got to keep pulling outward until you clear that. Once you do, it's all hunky-dory. So, see? Just like that. Now, once we have it down, you can see there's big old tabs right there and there's another tab further down that you're going to slide this guy down too. You can see it from this side right there. So just rock it down, and very much like, there's quite a few of them actually now that I think about it. Swoop does it, a few other ones do it. So that's what you want to do. Now we want to come to the legs and, oh no, bring them all the way down like so on that hinge. So we're getting some very tall dino legs. And there you go. There's your Grimlock. Right. Okay, you know I'm joking. Alright, so we're going to have to, I think we'll move these out of the way just for a second. Now I got to get all of this in front of his head. So right here on this main chest part, they just tab together, nice and easy. And you want to take all of this and you're going to rotate it right in there. You guys know how much I love rotating a whole bunch of plastic on one tiny swivel. And there's that Planet X squeak we love. No, get out of the way. There we go. Come on. Keep rotating. There we go. And, brah, there's his dino head. I don't realize he's bucktooth. Wow, okay. So we want to take all of this and we want to bring it all forward on that nice double hinge that just sort of happened. Rotate the arms out of the way again. Arm legs. Rotate the arm legs out of the way. Alright, so we want to take that tab, tuck it right inside there. And we want all of this to come forward very nicely as such. Now, I thought that this was going to tab into the chest. It does not. Now, for the dino neck area, we got to do a couple things. So, you see all of this gappiness down here. You need to take the dino head up and flip this little piece down to complete that chunk of the neck. And you want to take this part up. It's got a big, long tab there. It's got a big, long slot up there. Push it up on this nice little double hinge. And that will solidify the neck to the chest. Go ahead and lay the head back down. Now at this point you would have obviously slapped this down, but you don't need to. So this is the part that I hate. Getting all of this up there. Because right now what you have is what I think is very similar to Brachiosaurus. Brachiosaurus from Super Sentai. They just got a big open dinosaur there. So if you want to go ahead and drop in your Judenchi right there. I'm just kidding. Okay, so we want to take all of this and make use of all those double hinges in the knees. So our ultimate goal is, you see these slots right here line up on these huge tabs right there, and then there's these little tabs right here that are going to slot in up there. So this is where, whoa, this is where I knocked the entire camera over. Wow. His legs swinging around just knocked everything over. Okay. Come on, legs. This is those heavy, heavy ratchets I was talking about earlier. There we go. So click, 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 click. And then we want to line everything up and then kind of give it that final kind of shove. Get that last little joint that doesn't want to go. I know it's there. Come on. No, you line up properly again. Thank you. There we go. That's the last little bit. Alright, so all the tabs magically lined up. I'm going to push everything together, tab it in nicely. Now you've got these two big tabs right there. So those were where the feet were. And, I'm sorry, holes. These are tabs. And just put that there. And now everybody is connected all nice and neat. I'm going to go ahead and get him straightened out a little bit and we'll come right back. Now I've got Grimlock all cleaned up and awesome. This dino mode is absolutely insane. It's one of the best Dinobots I've ever seen. Yeah, this is just sick, guys. Look at the details. I mean, you get all the same details you got when he was in robot mode, but they mean something totally different now that he's in dino mode. And yeah, I've got him in his basically like roaring, throwing fire mode, because basically that's what he did. He just roared and spewed fire and smashed people to death, swung his tail around. Seriously, the most fun levels out of that entire game. Now, you can do a couple things with him posing wise. So you can do what he normally is in this game, because updated T-Rex, they figured out he kind of walks like so. Even the Hasbro version, that's pretty much the position he gets in. You can kind of varying degrees of straight up and downness, but whatever. However, you can totally go G1 with it if you really want to. Straighten out the legs a little bit. And you can totally go G1 Grimlock on it. They gave it the ability that you could just do that. That's awesome. Completely and utterly unnecessary, but so much fun that you can do it. The tail even gives you just enough. If you want to, you can tilt it just enough. Articulated tail. Excellent. Actually, one of the few articulated tails amongst the Dinobots. Most of them are solid because that's just what it do. Speaking of articulation, let's go ahead and look at it. I'm going to raise up just a little bit so you can see what we're working with here. Start at the head as usual. How can he see forward? The eyes are... I just thought about that. How does he see forward? Anyways, because he's got prey level eyes, not predator level. Anyways, so the head actually can move up and down very nicely on this big hinge right back here. You of course get jaw articulation, and guys, pointy teeth. Be careful. They're not like razor point because these things are all blocky, but still very pointy teeth. And honestly, he has an accessory in here that you can move. He's got his little flamethrower. Somebody make a friggin' flamethrowing effect that fits in that, please. Because how does that not exist? Now, of course, because he's T-Rex, you want him to be able to roar epically, so you can actually get head swivel and head tilt. That is so awesome. You can rotate the head. Mind you, your little bits right here will shift occasionally. But the fact that you can actually turn the head side to side is so epic, guys. You come down to the itty-bitty arms. These have got to be the smallest arms we've ever gotten on a Grimlock. But they do move here. You got shoulder articulation there, so you can wave. Hi. You can actually get a hi teacher. Hi. Hi, my name is Grimlock. Hold on, I totally have to get a picture of that. That's funny. The book-toothness is actually great. I didn't realize that until just now. That's hilarious. I want to bring the light down just a little bit more. Okay. I really do dig the silver on here, actually. It's very nice. Not super chromey. They could have gone chrome. Maybe the new metallic version is chrome. I don't actually know. But that's actually cool. Now, you do get an elbow, actually. You totally can have an elbow. Some of these were so stiff I couldn't move it. I didn't even realize his claws would open and close. Though these I'm very wary about because they are just that little kind of clipped-on hinge. So, you know, gotta be careful. So they do pose, even though they're useless little T-Rex arms. They do pose a little bit. You come down to his legs, and you get the same articulation you did with him, with his arms, except for you don't get outward motion. You get a little bit if you really need it, but you rotate. You get that extra knee, which is a little awkward in this one. However, something you couldn't do before because it was blocked up, you get ankle articulation now. So I got to figure out how to hold him. You can actually tilt the foot. So this is normally the normal stance. Knee slightly bent, ankle tilted forward, like so. Except you can't see that because I'm now aiming up, not down. So basically like that. That actually gives him a very good planted stance, even though he's not super balanced. Well, I guess he is. I mean, his heavy ass head and, you know, all this other stuff. So we'll come back to the tail, since that's the other thing. Oh, I forgot. Okay, technically dino toes do articulate, but you're not really going to mess with those, are you? Unless you're going to make him stomping on top of an Insecticon. I hope we get Insecticons later. And they need to be like Legends class size. So, tail does articulate. You got a joint here, here, and down here. Though, of course, the last joint is a little small, but it is what it is. You can totally waggle the tail. But you can get personality out of it, because like he would walk kind of like how a shark moves. You know, just boom, 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 boom. Because every step he needs his tail for balance. That's so awesome. You do get these thrusters, which are completely hidden at this point. Once again, that annoys me. Like, I swear, like, those should have had the ability to slide out or rotate out or something so they're more visible. It's like, why make something so awesome that you can't really see? You know? I don't get it. I don't get it, guys. But then again, I'm not a Transformer designer yet. I don't know why I said yet. I'm not going to do it. Anyways, so let me get him kind of standing. Oh, I know what the problem is. His back toe wasn't in the right spot. Alright, so let's bring in some extra things for comparison. And here he is with all of his fellow Dinobots in their Dino modes. And yeah, he towers over all of them, as he should. I will say, sadly, I'm still having issues with Slag of things lining up, things don't want to go. If I really had to kind of vote on these guys, he's probably the least good in Dino mode. His robot mode, very good. His Dino mode, eh. But yeah, they do look very good together, this whole set. Now, there is a cool part of the game where Swoop has to carry Grimlock around to get him over larger spots. So let me get these guys out of here real quick, give himself a little room. Now, I do believe he did it in robot mode. However, we can see if we can play around with it in Dino mode. Let me get him off of his little custom stand here, which does seem to work still a little bit. Alright, so the way I was doing this, because there's no official way for this. Now, it looks like they almost tried, because you've got these big gaps right there. It looks like those would be perfect for his feet. However, his feet don't spread that far. See? Sadly. Now, one of them does, I mean, the feet totally fit in that slot, like for sure. But you can't get both of them in there. So it's kind of pointless. But if you needed to carry him, I bet he still could. Now, I can show this off again in robot mode before we end. There are bits and other little things all about this figure that make me wonder if they had more things in mind and then just stopped. Because, one, you can sort of get this like this, but not really. Like, it's a lot harder in Dino mode, realistically, but I don't think he carried him in Dino mode. I think he carried him in robot mode. So you can get Swoop just kind of parked on his back, more or less like this, but now his Swoop's feet are kind of fighting me. Stop it. There we go. Okay. So you can get him like that. You can carry him. Now in robot mode, I'll show that off in a little bit when we get to the end, because I forgot about it earlier. We'll look at that, but there's other things, like these, and I get that those are where the hinges are, but why would they leave them open if something wasn't meant to tab there? So, I don't know. But, yeah, this is pretty awesome. I do actually love this guy, and of course, the rest of his Dinobots are awesome as well. So real quick, of course, before the end here, we got Grimlock back in robot mode. And we'll see if we can replicate the whole Swoop carrying him thing. Now, I did this the other day just kind of as a hoot, as a kind of a joke. Now, you've got this whole thing back here, which part of me was like, maybe he tabs in somehow back here. I don't know. So no, that doesn't do anything. You've also got the flap here, which, you know, you've got two big tabs there, which would line up to the kind of holes in the back of the feet, but no, once again, not. So it's like they, you know, even though they had the ability, sorry, the stupid little fins always pop off, they really should have just gone ahead and given us that ability. Now, you also have these thingies. I doubt they're meant to hook in anywhere, but I don't know, maybe. Let's see here. Oh, I figured it out. Oh my god, guys. No joke, just figured it out on camera. Gotta love this. So, the tabs here that the posts move into totally fit within the hooks on Swoop. No joke, just figured it out here on camera. I was like, there's got to be a way. There's got to absolutely be a way. And there it is. Let's add the feet down here just for good measure. But I knew there had to be a thing. I don't even know if anybody else has ever figured that out, to be totally honest. I don't think I've ever seen a reviewer that figured it out. Because it's not in any instructions. There you go, guys. That is Swoop actually carrying Grimlock. I got to get a picture as proof. I was setting it up in all kinds of different ways, could not figure it out literally until this moment. That makes me very, very happy. So you can, in fact, replicate the look from the game. Now, I'm not about to pick him up from from that tiny connection there, But that is awesome. You actually have that recreation of that scene. I knew that something had to work. Planet X, thank you for actually engineering that, but I'm mad that you couldn't include that in any instructions. So, guys, you need to do that. But do I recommend this figure? Absolutely. This is the best Grimlock, definitely the best Fall of Cybertron Grimlock we've ever gotten. And of course, you can totally integrate him now with the swoop figure. Absolutely amazing. I got him, I got him secondhand for a little bit less than a normal price. He usually runs about $100 to $120. The brand new one, the metallic version that's coming out, is about $125. So still a good deal for what you get. Plus, he comes in a really, really nice metallic finish. Not like chromy, but actually nice metallic finish. Whereas this is just the metal, the plastic with just some paint. I'm not going to get that version until maybe like way down the line. But hopefully they'll be doing normal reprints of him like they've been doing with other things. And that leaves me one more to get, and that's the Neptune, which is their version of Sludge. Now, of course, I could get Paddles, which is Triton. But he's not an official Dinobot. But we'll see what happens. But this is so cool. I'm so happy I figured this out, guys. Really, truly am. But I definitely suggest this. I want to thank my patrons, as always, for your support. It goes a long way towards buying fun stuff like this. If you guys want to join, down there below. But, as always, guys, keep on nerding. Oh, and he Grimlock King.